Okay guys, welcome along to round 17 of TUF Division 1. Today we bring you to America in the beautiful Austin in Texas for what proves to be a pretty exciting race across a gorgeous track in the south of America. It should be quite an interesting one. We've got a lot of things to talk about tonight. So first of all, we have a 3.4 mile long circuit and we're looking at about 28 laps here this evening. It looks like we've got a nice dry qualifying session with just under 9 minutes to go. We've got 19 drivers on the grid and we'll discuss those shortly. And I would also like to reintroduce my co-commentator for the second night running in the shape of Michael / Ravers Revenge. Welcome along, my friend. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Yeah, good to be here. Looking forward to it.
Should be good fun. Should be good fun indeed. Looks like we've got a nice dry qualifying. The sun is shining over America, so let's hope that continues into the race. But we shall see. Obviously, with Japan last time, we had a nice qualifying session, which then started with very heavy rain, which caused a few stirs. So, what do you think we're going to see this evening? Do you reckon we can count our lucky stars and have a dry race?
Yeah, hopefully dry race. George won in Japan, so it'd be good to see. Keen to see how he'll get on today. But then Good Age has returned. Dobby's just set the fastest lap thus far, but last time out Dobby didn't participate in qualifying, did he? So
no.
He's second in the championship at the moment, so it'll be good to see how he'll get on.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we're just on board with Fuzzer on the live chat at the moment, who's the current championship leader. Let's hope that he doesn't have too many lag issues this evening, which lags him out of the race. I'd imagine it will happen at least once. But yeah, so as it stands, Dobby obviously, I think he had a bit of a joining problem last time, which joined him as qualifying was starting. So unfortunately, he missed out on the ability to qualify. But he fought his way back up through the field and scored a reasonably good points finish. But Fuzzer, obviously with his connection problems, it left him just shy of where he wanted to be, so he's only extended his gap by a couple of points to Dobby, so it should be a very interesting one. As it currently stands, we've got Dobby top of the pile with a 1:34 flat, and Fuzzer has actually set a time for 1:37, so he must have pulled out of his lap. So yeah, it should be very interesting. Well, Good Age set a banger time of 1:34.5. I imagine we'll see some close times as Napola goes quickest, which is great to see. Reserve driver. I believe
for the second faster.
Yeah. At the moment. So that's very good to see. Very good to see indeed. So yeah, we've got a bit of a mix of drivers this evening. I know we've got a couple of absentees, Sao Paulo being one of them. Obviously there is a couple of vacant seats in Division 1 at the moment as well. So we welcome the reserve drivers in. I believe Napola is one, although he may have a permanent seat now, I'm not too sure. And then we have the likes of Seva, who's in. We've got Henry, who's come in as well, and John, all from Division 2. So yeah, a couple of the regular guys that we'll see as normal, but we've got a few Americans on track tonight in the shape of Be Smooth, Pubster Andy and NR, so they'll be looking to do well at their home Grand Prix. Although, as I say, that Pubster Andy decides to get his entrance to the pit wrong, which is slightly embarrassing.
Yeah, Fuzzer's just backed out of his lap as well. Low fuel. A few of them pit in actually at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you tend to find out. I mean, they've had what 6.5 minutes now of qualifying, so the guys will get in their banker times just so they know that they're definitely got a time that's set, and then they come back in, underfuel their car to the max, and then just go for a one-lap blast towards the end of the qualifying session. So we saw that last time with about 4 or 5 guys jumping the current pole sitter by the time that the clock run down to 0, so I imagine we'll see the same thing tonight. But as far as a pole sitter goes tonight, who's your money on? Who are you tipping for pole?
Good question. I think there's more time in Dobby.
Yeah.
I don't know really. It's a very good time from Napola.
Yeah.
Where did he finish in Japan, Napola? He had a good drive, didn't he, I think?
Yeah, he wasn't too bad. I know he made up a lot of spaces, but I think he had a bit of an incident as well, which put him down. But I think he finished maybe, I want to say 7th, maybe. It could have been higher, actually. I'm not too sure. I think he might have actually skipped people on penalties. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's certainly improved drastically on this game, which is great to see. He's a lovely guy, Napola, so I always wish that he does well. As we see, pretty much every single person now is in the pits or returning to. Good Aids being one.
Yeah,
so,
Good Aids just picking the ultra soft tyre instead as well.
Yeah. So
He
yeah,
wasn't the only one on super soft, so
he was indeed. So yeah, we Fuzzer's just coming back out with 4 minutes to go of the session. I'm going to tip Dobby for pole this evening. I think we're going to see a time for about a 1:33.7 maybe, 0.6, somewhere around that time. I think if you can hit a time like that, I would imagine you'll be there or thereabouts towards the end of the session. So we've got the very tricky kind of S-bends through Sector 1 on this circuit, which is very easy to invalidate your lap or to cut the corners, so I would imagine we'll see a few penalties this evening. I'd say Sector 1 in USA is one of the hardest sectors in the whole calendar. So yeah, as there's tyres. Sorry, carry on.
Detest that section. I detest that sector with a passion. Yeah, I find it so difficult.
I mean, for me,
turn 4, 5, and 6, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm unsure whether I hate that section more or my ex-girlfriend. It's definitely on par with that. I mean, and she was a prick, but so that's how much I hate that section. I wonder if we're going to see a return of Good Age. Yeah, I mean, I'm passionate. People that watch these streams know the passion that comes with my commentary.
That is a lot of passion.
That is a lot of passion. I mean, I would say, actually, another thing on par. I mean, I also hate Alex Iwobi / Mohamed El Neni just as much. Yeah, just as much as that section. So we're putting it on a pedestal now. We certainly are. We certainly are. Anyway, right. Enough about my miserable life. We're moving on to an onboard with Good Aids, as he's on his outlap. I think most of the guys are, as it currently stands. Welcome to Chris Logan and Mr. Costa. Costa, congratulations on winning Division 2 of your alternative league at the weekend. That was a very impressive, mate, so well done to you. Thoroughly deserved, mate. So and well done so far on your Division 2 story as it stands. We've got a retirement from Funky Cobra, so he won't be improving. And Pagani as well. Well, Pagani's actually set a very good time. He's up in P6. Now, if you remember me saying to you last time, Michael, the Pagani and Lennon, who is Steffo or Stevo, have had some pretty shocking luck so far. So far in the championship. So let's hope they can get a decent result. Pagani was sitting nicely in Suzuka. There we go. Henry, 1:33.6. Yeah, Henry always does it.
He believes that's enough.
But he does. Wow. Henry is the absolute master of doing that. He stays in the whole way through, comes out of a few minutes to go, does one lap, normally goes pole or near pole, and then he'll just retire. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into broadcast mode as Good Age crosses the line and begins his one and only chance to put himself up towards the top. I'm going to tip Good Age to be inside the top 4. It's a track that he likes. Fuzzer goes quickest, yeah, 1:33.5. So well done to him. We also have we actually have a newcomer watching the streams tonight, in the way of somebody called Goy Carp. Never heard of him, but congratulations and thank you for watching wherever you are in the world. Nice to see you. Nice.
Dobby's on an flying lap at the moment.
Yeah, if you want to stay on board with Dobby and then let us know how he's getting on, I shall do the same thing. We're going to go down to an on board with Good Aids as he's coming down towards the final parts of his lap. Very some of these corners are very tricky as well, especially with medium traction and with no traction users, as some of the corners dip and then they sort of rise up a hill a little bit as you exit the corner, so it's very, very easy to lose the back end. So people have to be very careful tonight. I'm sure we're going to see a few spins and little knocks here and there. Good Age eases off the accelerator a little bit, so it's going to cost him a little bit of time. Comes around to the final corner, takes that nicely, hammer down. Where's he going to put him? He goes in P3, 1:33.6. So good time from Good Age there. just under a tenth away from our current pole sitter in the way of Fuzzer. Henry on second at the moment. Corey, what a time from him. Up into P4 with 1:33.9. I would imagine maybe a couple of guys will jump him, but that's very good to see for Corey, so well done to you, mate.
Dobby's coming across the line.
Yeah, he's gone second. 1:33.5, so we've got some very close times on board. John's improved up into P5. George Alice now goes fourth with a 1:33.6. So my prediction of 1:33.6 has only seen third place at the moment, so they've exceeded my expectations there. Interesting tactic from Lennon, not setting the time this evening. Maybe he's looking to change around his fortunes and let some other people have the luck that he's been getting. Possibly so, and I believe that will conclude qualifying. I think a lot of the guys who've retired are now finished. I know Lennon has set a time, finds himself down in 18th place with a 1:34.7, still a very good time. And actually, as we can see, we've got some very close qualifying times here, just over a second between first and last place, which is good to see. Nice level playing field. Pubsterani down in 11th is a bit of a surprise, and NR in 14th, Beast moving 16th, so the Americans not really doing well on their own track.
I think they qualified on the second and third row, didn't they, in Japan?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
I know NR did.
Yeah, so I would imagine...
Good to see the AI cars crashing into each other.
Oh yeah, they always do that. They always do that.
Yeah.
There we go, and Good Age's car's just lost a wheel by hitting the back of Corey, so... Okay, well I've just received word from Chris Logan, who is a bit of a Codemasters fan favourite, I think, with a message saying, Aaron, if people retire and leave under 2 minutes, it causes virtual safety car or safety car glitch. So that's obviously something which they finally figured out. So if somebody retires and they leave the session within 2 minutes, it will cause a glitch where the virtual safety car or safety car will appear every few laps, which is what we were seeing the other night in Japan, if you remember rightly.
Yeah.
So thank you for that information, Chris. Nice to see some interaction. Who in the chat? I mean, I know we've got a few guys watching. I'd imagine most of them will be racing, but anybody in the chat want to be brave and give a top 3 prediction for the race just before we start? Anyone wants to do that, we shall read those out and we will discuss. So we have 10 seconds before we go into the pre-race build-up. Qualifying is now complete. Fuzzer takes pole with Dobby in second. I've completely forgotten to do a full rundown of the grid. I do highly apologise for that. So we have Fuzzer in first place, Dobby in second, Henry in third with George Alice alongside, Grenades in fifth with John in sixth, Corey in seventh, great qualifying from him, Napler in eighth, likewise for him, Sever in ninth, Ox in 10th, and we've got Pubster in the 11th, Pagani in 12th, Whiskey in 13th, and unfortunately I've forgotten the rest. So, but I did well to go off memory there.
That was pretty good, yeah. I thought you were reading all that.
It wasn't bad.
That's
No.
impressive.
I think I got that right. I could be wrong, and if I did, I'm sure I'm going to get slated for it. But anyway,
And rightly so.
there we go. Right, 10 seconds to go to the race start. The drivers will be preparing themselves now, selecting race strategy, getting comfortable, looking forward to the good start of this race. It looks like we've got a dry race. Looks quite cloudy though, so we may see a hint of rain at some point. Anyway, do you want to go middle of the pack as we go 5 lights? And we are away in USA. Good start there from Fuzzer. Dobby alongside him has got past Henry. Henry's had a very poor start. He's lost out all his contact. Oh, there's some serious lag going on. I think that might have been Dobby.
Oh,
Yeah, Dobby's.
Ferrari sideways contact. Oh,
Yeah.
Sever. It's Sever. Made massive contact. He lost grip on the second corner, I think. He just touched the curb.
Okay, we're going to see much action coming through the first sector. We've seen a lot of lag from Dobby as he finds himself down in P8. He's lost out 6 positions so far. George Alice has made up a couple of paces and finds himself into second. We've got Force India running wide in the way of Good Aids. I think he may have had an issue there. Finds himself down in P7. Gonna go on board.
I'm sure I saw some debris.
Yeah, I think we may well have done. Crazy lag from Dobby. Hopefully that calms down now the race has started. Maybe just a bit of a glitch at the start, but I'm sure it's going to give him some damage because he hit the back of Fuzzer pretty convincingly. We've got George Ellis and Henry going side by side. George Ellis covers the line quite aggressively but fairly. Has Gooday's got any damage? No, it doesn't look like he has. I think he might have just either had a bit of contact or he's run a bit wide, but he's on the back of Oxox. Corey's had a good start up into P5. I know he likes USA and he's certainly proving that. So yeah, very interesting start as it currently stands.
Dobby finds himself behind John again. Remember in Japan?
Yes.
Find a way past him. Worked all the way through the grid with Dobby.
Yeah,
and find the wall in John. It's happening again at the moment.
Good age is having a bit of bad luck so far. He ran very wide on the last corner as well, so I don't know whether he's facing any problems at all. But it looks like he's got past Oxox. Maybe there's a bit of contact somewhere, I'm not too sure.
Dobby's lost another couple of places.
Yeah.
10th now.
So Pubster, Andy, Funky and Sever have all pitted as well, so problems early on for those guys. Going to go up towards the front of the pack. Napola's had a great start from 8th up to P4.
Yeah.
Do you have your...
He's a reserve driver, isn't he? He's in 2nd?
Yep.
I know he qualified well, but still.
Yeah, he's done very well indeed. A lot of the guys saying, so Chris Logan has said Dobby's going to win, George Ellis 2nd and Goodade's 3rd. Costa has said Goodade's to win, Dobby 2nd, George Ellis 3rd. No, he didn't, he said no particular order. And then Goy has said Henry to win, Goodage in 2nd and Napola in 3rd place. Okay, well, interesting predictions. So as we currently stand, Henry's pulled a bit of a gap to George Ellis and Fuzzer is absolutely steaming out in front. I think he's going to be pushing as hard as he can to try and cement a bit of a gap before he lags out, which is inevitable at some point. Napola and Corey have had brilliant starts. As is
contact between Dobby and one of the McLarens. There was some debris that come off. I've spun some Dobby there.
Yeah, so we've got B Smooth and NR. They both got the 1 bar of death connection. I think NR's coming into the pits as it currently stands. Yes, he is. So NR's obviously carrying some damage, and we've got Goodade sitting behind at the moment. So they're going to be familiar with one another. They've raced against each other before. So, and Steve-O knows that he's a tricky customer. Very hard to pass is John. Henry gets the time penalty already.
And Corey, both of them.
Oh, they've both got penalties today, and Pagani. There we go. Yeah, very easy to do. Unless you absolutely nail that little S section, it's near on impossible.
Well, no one's retired in the first 2 minutes.
Corey's had a look. No, that's good to see. Yeah, no retirements at the moment. Although Pupsarani's back in the pit, so is he just stayed there? I'm not too sure. It doesn't look like it. But Corey made a move on Napola, which we got. Napola's having a look back, but Corey's got the inside line. No, Corey's going to make this stick unless Napola performs the switchback of all switchbacks. Oh, he's going up the inside now, again side by side. Possibly a bit of contact, but Napola and Corey racing hard but fair. Well done to those guys, and they've got John all over the back of them, and Goodade will be looking to catch up very soon. The top 3 all about a 1.5 seconds away from one another, so they're kind of driving on the road at the moment. We've got an interesting battle for P4 taking place. Anything else going on through the field, can you see?
Yeah, just seen a great overtake by Woods on B Smooth. I think Woods started last or second last, and he's up to 12th now.
Nice.
So he's doing well at the moment on the soft tyre as well.
Yeah, he's doing very well indeed. Lennon's had a good start as well, up from P18 up to P11. So he's had a nice clean start, good to see. Pagani's down in 15th, so not the best from Pagani, but he needs to keep his head.
We'll try and get some fuel information.
Yeah, absolutely. Napola's lost out as well to John now, so he must have run wide. Goodage is all over the back of him. He's going to go against side by side. Goodage has got the inside line, should be an easy enough move. Napola's done a nice little switchback, but he has to sit in behind Goodage now. He's going to be in his slipstream, very, very close. Is he going to take a look up the inside? No, he's coming to the outside. He's going to brake early and possibly try a cut back on him there. But no, Grenades cements his spot. Work from the Welshman. Okay. And unfortunately, I have to bring you some bad news, Michael.
Okay.
Mohamed El Neni scored.
Okay.
For Arsenal. And although Arsenal won 6-0, apparently it was an absolute stunner. So I'm absolutely...
So he'll be starting in Arsenal's next match?
Southampton away on Sunday. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I cannot stand it. If El Neni and Iwobi start together, then I will go and burn my Arsenal shirt. There we go. Big statement. But anyway, back to Formula 1. Stop distracting me. Yeah, okay, so we've got, as we start lap 5 of the Grand Prix, I'll run through the order. So we've got Fuzzer, who's currently 1.5 seconds out in front from Henry in P2, so he's had a good start. George Alice has made up a place into P3, driving on his own at the moment. Corey's closing in the gap ever so slightly. He's pulled a bit of a gap to P5, which is John with good aids just under a second behind him, with Napola fairly close to good aids as well. Whisket's had a good start up 5 places into P8. Dobby's had an abysmal start down into P9. I think there was some lag issues somewhere. Ox is in P10.
Oh, Dobby has left the session. He's just said he left the session.
Sorry.
Left the session, yeah.
Oh dear.
His car was ghosted and he's already lost a position.
Yeah, so he must have been... yeah, he must have lagged out of the session. So Dobby currently in P10, but I'm sure we're going to see some position drops now. Lennon will possibly find himself into the points now. So Lennon's currently in P11 as Whiskey gets a 3-second time penalty. Woodsy's had a good start up into P12. Beast move up into 13th place. Just been overtaken by Shone actually. So Shone and Beast move going hammer and tong now for P13. Pagani down in 15th. Sever some way behind in 16th. And we've got Funky in 17th for Pubster Andy and NR, the 2 Americans, rounding off the final 2 places. No retirements yet, which is good to see.
Pubster Andy, just before Dobby had lagged out there, set the fastest lap.
Ah, right, okay. Oh, Pagani's gone.
Pagani is retiring. Did not see what happened.
Oh dear. Pagani's lost the wheel.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Not good.
Put it in the wall.
Yeah, not good. God's sake, Pagani. There comes a time where I've got to stop feeling sorry for you. But no, anyway, unlucky, mate. It's never nice to see.
Be Smooth was just given a 5-second stop-go penalty. I just flicked onto him and he's pretty much deliberately driven off into the wall and retired. Well,
if he's done that, he should know better being an admin for the league, because he knows, there we go, and now he's left the session, so we are going to see a virtual safety car glitch. So from one of the league admins, not one of the smartest moves to do. So Be Smooth, I hope you realise that you have just caused many problems to many people. Silly boy. Anyway, I will learn to choose my words very carefully, considering what I said before in Singapore, but we should not speak about that anymore. So, some of the guys now taking the opportunity to pit under the virtual safety car, Corey being one of them, pits in from P4. Interestingly enough, Fuzzer has also joined him, as well as Napola, who has actually got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Corey changes tyres as DRS has been enabled and we are going green again, so he could have done with that carrying on for a few more seconds, but unfortunately not. That hasn't jeopardised him too much.
Dobby's still not back in the race.
No, I suppose so. Well, interestingly enough, Corey followed suit with Fuzzer, who was the race leader. Corey was actually in 4th, and Henry and George Ellis, who were 2nd and 3rd, are now 1st and 2nd. So it will be interesting to see where Corey is placed on track after Henry and George Ellis pit. So I would imagine he will possibly get a jump on the two guys there. So a good move for him, I think. Yeah. Anyway, right.
Lennon, sorry, is having a look at Fuzzer.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Good Aids at the moment, who's all over the back of John, but he knows that John is not the easiest person to get past, so he's going to be trying very hard. Although they're going side by side. Good Aids has got the outside line, but he will not give in. Very good defensive drive in there from John. Let's hope there's no incidents. Both very good racers. Oh, John's just squeezed him out ever so slightly there, but Steve-O is all over the back of him. Going to take an on-board view. Steve-O's right in his slipstream, going up towards the outside. John's got very good straight line speed, bit of a touch of wheels. Oh dear, John's driven across the line there, not too good from John, which has allowed Whisket to join the party. Hopefully there's no incidents as they're going side by side into the S section. Is there going to be a touch? One of them needs to pull out.
Oh, he's gone across the corner.
Steve-O's lost it. Yeah, he's hit Steve-O's wheel there. And I think he's going to let him back past. Yeah, very good sportsmanship from Whisket. Well done, mate. Nice to see that. So Steve-O will be swearing inside his helmet. But at least we've seen some good sportsmanship there from Whisket. He's realised he's made a mistake. And he's returned back to the position.
Well, Lennon was having a look at Fuzzer, but Fuzzer's just opened a 2.4 second gap on him in the space of probably not even a lap.
Well,
so Fuzzer's on the charge there.
Well, it's all too like Fuzzer. It amazes me how quick the boy is at the game, as it does with the man that we're currently on board with. Those two seem to be slightly too quick, in my view. So there's some, I think they're using mod controllers.
Dobby's still not back in the race. His car's still a ghost.
No,
so.
I think he might have just given up for the evening. We saw some horrendous lag from him at the start, so I'm sure his car's just going to ghost itself round towards the end now. So, yeah. Okay, so Good Aids has actually come into the pits. Are we going to see a wing change? No, we're not.
No, he's going on to the softs to the end.
Is he going on softs? There he is, yeah. See, on my screen, it said he's got on a fresh set of ultra softs. So,
oh, okay.
Naughty,
naughty.
He's
got normal softs.
I'm talking on his actual car. He's got ultra softs on, but on the tyre thing, he's got softs on. So, or as Sean says, shosh.
It's another bizarre glitch there, isn't it?
Yeah. So just working this out for a second, I think Corey is going to benefit massively because he is well within a pit stop distance from the leaders. I think he's about, what, 13 seconds off the leaders, 14 seconds. There's a bit of a rough guess, and he's maybe slightly more, but he's going to definitely jump Henry and George Alice. So not really too many battles going on at the moment. We've got one between NR and Shone down towards the bottom of the grid there. NR within half a second, but we're just going to stay with Fuzzer for a second, just to see how quickly he catches up to the back of Whisket. That time of 1.1 seconds has now decreased down to 0.8 in the space of one or two corners. As Henry comes into the pits, Whisket gets another penalty. So he's certainly cracking under pressure. So is Henry going to be jumped?
That last lap from Fuzzer was only 0.2 slower than the fastest lap.
Yeah. There we go. So Corey has jumped Henry. There we go. So Corey's got out in front of Henry, who was in second place. So Corey's decision to pit has certainly proved the right decision. So we're now on board with Fuzzer, who is all over the back of Whisket. And he's going for a move up the inside. He looks so much quicker than everyone else on track at the moment, Fuzzer.
Yeah.
in my view, unless something drastic happens, this is Fuzzer's race to lose.
He's got past him quite easily there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Just after the DRS.
And we can see Corey in the background there, making advancements on to Lennon, which has made that time up very quickly. So we're going to go and see what Corey is up to. Fuzz is only half a second away from John now, so Good Aids rejoined down in P9 with some of the guys in front of him still to pit. So I think he's in like a net P6 at the moment, I think, or P5. So not too bad from him. Corey's had a bit of a wobble, but he's all over the back of Lennon now, so he's going to be looking to make a move very soon.
I think John's old ultra softs probably need changing because Fuzzer just easily got past him, and John, as we mentioned before, quite difficult to get past, isn't he?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, Fuzzer just looks absolutely on top form tonight. It's going to be hard to beat, I think. But what Corey needs to do now, who we're currently on board with, is get past Lennon as quickly as possible. Because if he's wants any chance at a podium tonight, he's going to need to make these moves as quickly as Fuzzer has been doing. Lennon gets a penalty there as Corey's taking a look up the inside. He cuts the corner. Running slightly wide, he's got a very good run out. Ooh, Lennon shut the door there. Corey's cutting the corners all over the shop, which is allowing Henry to catch up to the back of Corey. So this is where Corey needs to be making his moves as quickly as possible. Very intrigued to see what George Alice is doing because he's still stayed out.
Yeah, John's overfueled again. Got
Yeah.
3.5 extra laps, and he's just gone into the lead. Interesting tactic.
I think what he's trying to do, not too sure how long you can take the super soft, so I'd imagine if you can get a few more laps out of them to now, you should be able to take those to the end. So, well, I think any time from now, really. If he's taken used ultra softs to sort of lap 11, lap 12, you should easily be able to get super softs to the end, I think. Well, and as I say that, Mr. Costa has just confirmed that for me in the chat, so thank you very much, my friend. Okay.
Look at George. Yep, easily dispatched him.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm on board with this three-way battle for P4. Corey's taking a very late dive, and it looks like he has made the move stick. Well, no, he's not. They're going side by side for the S section. Corey needs to get his nose in front, which he does do. So now he's got to try and pull away and hope that Henry has a problem getting past Lennon, so that Corey can re-establish his lead on Henry, because we know Henry's quick round here. As Henry gets a 3-second time penalty. Commentator's curse.
Yep, you're good at that.
Yep, I'm very good at that. As Henry gets past Lennon, so well, they're kind of going side by side, but Henry's got his nose in front. Lennon's got
DRS.
Yeah, Lennon's gone to the inside line. DRS open. Is he going to take a dive? Oh, Henry's run slightly wide there. Well, interestingly enough, Corey, if I'm not mistaken, is on, yeah, Corey's on the super soft tyres and Henry is on the soft. So Henry's going to the end on these. Whereas Corey, unless he can manage his tyres brilliantly, he's going to have to make another stop. So that may have been a poor call from Corey there. But then again, Fuzzer would have to do the same thing. So that's actually something. Yeah, there we go. George Alice in, Whiskey in, John in, as well as Ox moves into P4. Good Age jumps up and comes up into P5. So there we go. He's got his net P5. He's coming in front of George Alice as well now. So there we go. George Alice 5 seconds behind Good Age. So sorry, 7 seconds. So poor decision from George there, I think, to leave it that long. Although he's going to have to go to the end. Well, seen a lot of action so far.
A lot of these guys are getting penalties now, aren't they? I mean, Sever's just picked up one.
Yeah, it's so easy to do around here.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Ox has pitted, hasn't he? Yeah, of course he has. Yeah. Everyone's pitted. Just
Yeah,
thought that ultra
you
soft
can
tyre,
see
and I
on
thought,
the thingy.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Glad you do, mate. I'm glad you do. Right. So Corey finds himself in second place with Henry just behind him, and they've got Ox 3.5 seconds down the road. So as it currently stands, these guys are looking good for some good points here today. Be nice to see Corey on the podium. And
Henry's all
Fuzzer,
over the back of Corey at the moment.
yeah, Fuzzer is 10 seconds ahead. So, and Henry's in DRS range. He's in the slipstream. He's going to be taking a look up the inside. Where is Corey?
Corey comes back.
Henry, and Henry's through. Well, Corey
Great
needs
overtake.
to, yeah, lovely overtake. Corey needs to not panic now and just save those tyres. Needs to not push too hard to get the win over Henry. Just needs to conserve his fuel, conserve his tyres. He's still in a very good position.
Let's have a look down the field. I think Shone is having a battle with Hubster Andy.
Yes, he is. Yeah, you're right. Shown down in 14th place, having a look at Pubstar, who's in 13th. Not going to be happy with that. He's got DRS open.
John's still not using his fuel.
Interesting tactic from John. Not too sure what's going through his head, but seems to
We're
work.
in the second half of the race, and he's still got 3 extra laps of fuel. I've not seen him go into Rich. So the standard or lane is, he's in Rich now though.
Just to say that Whiskey gets another penalty. Whiskey's going to risk disqualification soon. He's got a lot of penalties from what I've seen.
It's a shame we can't see how many.
We can. If you press start and go onto the race director, yeah, but don't share it on stream because we like to keep it a surprise to the end. But you can have a look for reference if you would like. As Shown and Pubstar going side by side into turn 1. Pubstar closes the door, but Shone's held his position nicely and he's got himself through. Lovely move from Shone. Going around the outside into the inside line for turn 2. As he goes for the S section now, can he hold that nicely? Looks like he can. Good move there from the Dutchman. Nice to see. Funky's just gone as well, so not too sure what's happened to him.
He had a 5-second stop-go penalty, I think. Or a drive-through, I can't remember.
There we go.
Anyway.
Yeah, he just retired from the session there. So, okay, so really we've only got 15 runners because Dobby is currently ghosting around the track. So only 15 guys left. So effectively 4 retirements so far. We've got a yellow in sector 1 and in sector 2. So what has happened there then?
What's happened there? I haven't seen anything at the moment. No position changes.
No. Very interesting. Nothing.
I had a look at the list of warnings and penalties, and I won't say much, but the list is long.
Yeah, I can imagine it is. I'd love to have a look myself, but unfortunately I cannot do so. But yeah, anyway, this man dominating the race so far. 11.2 seconds clear of the rest of the pack. Looks like it's going to be a good result for Fuzzer today. Although, touch wood, he hasn't lagged out yet.
Yeah, he had a lot of problems in Japan, didn't he? With the lag.
Yeah. Yeah, he's had a lot of problems. He's been that way throughout the whole of the championship, and for him to still be top of it shows how much of a good driver he is. If he can go a couple of minutes in a race without even being at the wheel and still come out and be top of the championship, it's certainly shows some large ability.
John's in the DRS range on Whiskey. Don't think he's got just run out of track there.
Where's Good Aids in all this? Good Aids is in P5, he's closing in an Ox in front of him, so he's going to be in quite a nice position at the moment actually, Steve-O, because Ox, by the looks of things, is an ultra soft, so he's got to make another stop, as has Corey and possibly Fuzzer, as they both pitted. I think it was on lap 7, so
just
should be interesting. Ox has just pitted, so Good Aids finds himself up into P4. So he's going to be on a charge to hunt down his teammate. He's 4.9 seconds down the road.
Surely John can get close enough now, can he? No.
Okay, yeah.
Plenty of fuel to play with.
Interesting point there from Costa, saying that George Ellis has lost out time to Good Aids. Yeah, I know. It looks like Good Aids has got ultra softs on, but he hasn't. If you look on here, he's got soft tyres on. I think it's just a spectator glitch. So a couple of very strange strategies. Sever's on ultra softs down in P13. So yeah, interesting. So on board with John, Big John.
I've just loaded the. Sorry to interrupt. Just loaded the chat up so I can see what's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, Pagani did a bit of bad luck again.
Close enough.
No, I know he's behind old Whiskey. It's quite a hard. Oh, what a move! Oh wow!
Yeah.
What a move!
Yeah, that was brilliant.
John, the big Jono, the big Greek.
And now he's
beautiful
just
move.
Be in rich mode. Whiskey hasn't got much fuel himself, plus 1.3, so.
What a move that was. So lovely move there from John. Whiskey's trying to answer back at the moment. So actually saying that, Good Aids has pulled out nearly a second on Corey. So he is a man on a mission as it currently stands.
Napper in the pits.
Yeah, Naps up into the pits. As it currently stands, thinking about it, if Henry's 11 seconds or 10.8 seconds behind Fuzzer, and Henry's on the softs and Fuzzer's on the supers, Henry could win this race.
He could. Good Aids is only, well, kind of 7 seconds behind Henry, so if he decides to have a run.
Yeah, the only problem is, the only thing is, if Fuzzer comes out, he'll come up just behind Good Aids, I'd imagine, and Fuzzer on ultra soft tyres is a very dangerous thing to think about.
Mouth-watering prospect.
Certainly is. Well, with 10 laps to go, it is all shaping up to be an exciting end.
Yeah.
Not too sure who's going to win this one, but only time will tell.
Whiskey's just about managing to hang on the back of John after that overtake. Only half second between them.
Yeah, I think John will hold on to it though, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
He's putting out a couple of attempts. Corey's pitted. Corey has pitted. Newsflash.
Yes.
So
sure
Good Aids.
Going on the ultra softs.
Yep, Good Aids is onto the podium now. Okay, so Corey has put on a new set of super soft tyres.
Okay.
Interesting decision.
Yeah, I thought he'd be going on the ultra softs.
And he's come out just behind Ox. So I would imagine Ox will have to pit again, but then the rest of the guys in front of him are on softs, and I imagine they will be softs to the end. So, well, that's throwing a spanner in the works. Must admit, Woods is having a good race, up 10 places from 19th to 9th.
Yeah, I think he's only stopped the once though.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Well,
He did come from the back of the grid, so it's still a good drive, I think.
interestingly enough as well, Fuzzer has a decision to make because he is losing time to Henry and to Good Aids.
Well, he just comes in the pits now, just
There
as
we
you
go.
speak.
There we go. I'm good at timing these things, aren't
Yeah, you are.
I? Pure luck.
Ultra soft's going on.
Yeah, just as we thought. So Good Aids is coming around the final corner. So Henry's taking the lead of the Grand Prix. Where is Fuzzer? Fuzzer's just exiting the pits.
Oh, good age got past it.
Good Aids has got past, but Good Aids is on soft tyres and Fuzzer is 1.5 seconds behind on ultra soft tyres. So this is going to be some serious work for Good Aids now.
Yeah, but he's got an extra lap of fuel.
He certainly has, but he's also got...
Fuzzer with a 3-second penalty.
Well, there we go. Napola goes quickest in the fastest lap of the race of 1:36. Finds himself down in P11. He's had an unfortunate race, Napola. I thought he might be a bit higher up the field, but yeah, Fuzzer's reigning in Good Aids at the moment, but I've not seen any penalties for Steve-O. I could be wrong. I don't think that's Fuzzer's first one either. I'm not too sure.
Can't remember, I'm afraid. But it's good that we can't remember. It makes it all exciting.
Certainly does, and it's going to be interesting to see how quickly Fuzzer can get past Good Aids with his multicoloured tyres, because they keep changing from softs to ultras on the screen.
Modded tyres.
Mod tyres, yeah. Stop using mod tyres. Fuzzer's having a look.
Yeah.
Good Aids is holding it around the outside. Very good driving from these two here. Hopefully there's no contact. No, Steve-O's held it nicely. His tyres keep going from purple to yellow. Yellow, purple, yellow. There you go, look. Okay, Fuzzer has a run with DRS ultra soft tyres, fresh ultra soft tyres, in the slipstream going into turn 1. I'd imagine we're going to see a dive here, are we? Braking very late.
Oh, Ox and Whiskey having a great battle for 6th.
Well, just on board with his
Corey's just gone past.
Ooh, and Fuzzer squeezed through. Steve wants to keep his head now. Preserve those tyres, a 3rd place. This is a very good result, and Fuzzer has 7 laps to close 6 seconds on Henry, and then
On the old softs.
yeah, but then also Fuzzer has to get at least 3 seconds past Henry because of his time penalty.
What's Henry's fuel?
I'm not too sure.
Half a lap extra. Not a terrible amount.
Well, we'll go aboard with Corey. Is a nice 3-way battle here for 6th place between Ox, Corey and Whiskey. And we've got
John's
John.
just all over the...
Yeah.
It's just, we're just going to say the same thing, I think.
It's my timing for you. And also, the more that those two battle, the little train of cars behind are going to be catching up. So it's going to be a. I'm pretty keen to see how this all ends up.
Fuzzer's already taken a second out of Henry since you said about 7 laps remaining.
Yeah, I imagine he'll probably catch up and pass Henry, but I think he'll be a bit held up in the process because obviously Fuzzer will be pushing and pushing and pushing. We're on board with Corey going to turn 1. He's taking a look, clips the apex nicely, and it looks like Ox has still maintained position. Seen some nice battles tonight. It's not been a boring race at all. Nice on board with Corey.
Yeah.
Takes the S's very nicely. All over the back of them now.
Close contact.
Excellent racing from these guys. Whiskey gets a 3-second penalty, so for the, I think the 19th time tonight maybe. It could be 18th, I'm not too sure. He's had a few.
So close, Corey, to just touching the back of Ox there.
Yeah, it's good to see. Napoli gets another one there. God, this list of penalties is going to be astronomical at the end of this race. I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 people I've seen that I've not got one. Not off the top of my head.
Does look as though Corey's straight line speed is not anywhere near Ox's. He's got him on the corners perhaps, but he just couldn't get near him on that straight there.
Yeah.
Unless he had a bad exit on a previous corner, I don't know. But
I think a few of the guys, I know NR's another one, a few of the guys have very good straight line speed, but then their cornering speed's jeopardised, but then they just block off the lines and yeah, Ox gets a 3-second penalty there, look, so I think that's his 3rd one possibly.
just having a look at Corey's straight line speed at the moment, he's just not able to close him.
Yeah, but I think he'll get, oh, he's gone into the back of him there. Hasn't lost any of his wing though. But if you look just up the road in front of Ox, you have George Allison John.
You did call that 2 or 3 laps ago.
Yeah.
So George holds up John.
I may be thick, I may be cockney, but when it comes to Formula 1, I kind of, and I stress the word kind of, know what I'm talking about.
You could make a rhyme. You may be thick, you may be cockney, but you get lucky in commentary. That doesn't really rhyme, does it?
Oh dear. Oh, Corey.
Oh, what
Corey's
happened?
binned it. I don't know. I was laughing at your joke, which was at an inappropriate time.
Sorry.
Lovely joking. It's my own fault. I have the attention span of a goldfish. Yeah, so there we go. And John has got past George Allison and all that as well. So Corey is going to be absolutely fuming. Because if he pits...
on the back of Henry.
Jesus, that's happened quick, isn't it?
Yeah. With 4 laps to spare.
Well, the question is, how long can Henry hold off Fuzzer for? Oh, that's a dive bomb.
Contact.
Oh dear, that's a dive bomb. And Henry's biting back. Nice to see.
What would you say is the... Oh wow, it's gone
run wide.
As for the... I was about to ask you, what would you say that was, that dive bomb? A bit naughty, perhaps?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, there wasn't... Henry's obviously evaded it pretty nicely, and Fuzzer's made a mistake, but it's a touchy subject, and I'd like to know what people's thoughts are in the chat, because wow, look at that straight line speed from Fuzzer there.
Yeah.
He's left Henry like a sitting duck just then. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what people's thoughts are in that, because the way I view things is that yes, there's been a lot of game issues with this so far in F1 2017 and been a lot of problems, but then also, if I'm going to be completely honest, I think some of the standard of driving has decreased on this game. People are getting a bit too desperate at times and trying a bit too hard.
Okay.
The thing to be having, well, in my opinion, to be a good racer you have to be fast, but also you have to be clean. It's all well and good winning races, but if you're using people as a battering ram, or just not having any sort of consideration on tracks, I'm not saying that's what Fuzzer's done, but I'm just saying as a whole for this game I've seen a lot of that, and I think the standards kind of decreased on that sort of basis. But
can I just really apologise and interrupt? Mr. Costa in the chat raised a good point. He says Fuzzer has a 3-second penalty. Does Henry have any? I can't remember anything coming up for Henry. Maybe early on in the race.
Yeah, I think I did see him get one. I think I might have seen him even get 2.
Okay.
But
that's my rubbish memory for you.
Short succession. But no, I mean, I'm going off of my brain, and that has been my biggest downfall in life, my brain, unfortunately.
George just got a penalty.
Well, some people, they're all disagreeing. Yeah, a very good point from Bagani as well, actually, in the chat. Well, Goy's come out playing and gone, it was naughty. But then Pagani's then put, if you know you've got that much extra line speed, extra straight line speed, then why would you try and force it at turn 1? Which is a very good point. Very good point indeed. If you know you're so much quicker than someone, why on earth would you just try and put it on them at the first opportunity? And that goes back to what I was saying earlier on, like, you know, some people just need to be a bit more patient on track. And don't get me wrong, I know Fuzz is a very good racer, I'm not knocking him at all, I think he's excellent. But I just think sometimes, as a whole, people can just go a bit too over the top on this. I can think of many incidents that I've seen that have been caused by people just being too impatient and just dive bombing. And you see it all too often.
Shame for Corey.
Yeah, gutted for him.
And he's down in 8th now. He qualified well, didn't he? And that first part of the race was up there completed.
Yeah, he's been excellent, Corey. He's just, I think he's got a few of them penalties now. They've kind of come in spread out across the race. I think he's got about 3 or 4 now, and you never know, that could damage him. I've seen Sever get a few Annapolis. Hopefully he doesn't lose position, and Whisket's got an absolute ton of them. So it wouldn't surprise me if Whisket finishes behind Pagani, who DNF'd with his penalties. But yeah. Anyway, 3 laps to go. Henry is 3.5 seconds behind Fuzzer, the race leader, and Good Aids is creeping up behind, 10th by 10th in P3. So Good Aids has got P3 locked down. And
good battle for 4th and 5th going on at the moment.
Yeah, I'm on board with that at the moment. What we're going to do, we're going to go on board with George Alice because he's in the one in the middle of it, so we'll see what happens in front and behind him. Logical thinking. And Napola is on the back of Sever at the moment as well. Just a couple of attempts away. I'm going to make a point, and
okay.
I'm not too sure how I'm going to fare on this. But how many penalties has Fuzzer had? I'm pretty sure he's had at least 2.
Would you want me to have a look, or?
No. Well, you can have a look if you want to, but I'm thinking out loud, because I'm thinking that Fuzzer's had at least 2 penalties, and I know Henry's got a couple, and I haven't seen Good Aids get any. So what I'm thinking...
yes, Good Aids hasn't got any.
So what I'm thinking
I don't think he has anyway.
He might have got 1, possibly, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't. So, food for thought here. If Good Aids can get within 9 seconds of Fuzzer, and Fuzzer does seem to miraculously have 3 penalties, Good Aids will win this Grand Prix.
Well, he'll only need to be within 6 seconds if Fuzzer's got 2, surely. 2, 3
yeah,
second penalties.
but with 2 laps to go, he is 9.2 seconds away. So if he can get within
sorry,
that...
yes, I'm on the other... Yeah, sorry.
It's alright.
I'm on the interval there, yeah.
So, yeah, interesting. I mean, I think he's just going to finish outside of that little bracket, but food for thought. Fuzzer makes a mistake or gets 1 more penalty or something like that. You never know.
Well, it's last lap now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now or never.
Well, there we go. Pub Serrani's just got 1.
I wonder if Fuzzer has had that thought in his mind.
Possibly. Yeah, we've seen a lot of penalties tonight, actually. Of corner cutting and so on, but there's been some very good battles. We've had something to talk about the whole way through the race, which is always good. I've had some races this season, Silverstone being the one that stands out to me, and it was the most boring race to commentate on. Everyone was at least like 5 seconds. Everyone was at least like 5 seconds away from each other, and it was just commentating on people driving around on their own. So,
Knuckles all over the back of Sever at the moment, trying to get past him, but
George,
just not quite
George
enough.
Alice. George Alice is going for John on the final lap, and he's got him. He's got him on the final lap. So the two Greeks, very good friends, those two. Can John find a way?
I don't understand why John on the last lap still has 2 laps of extra fuel.
Don't know. Maybe he was going to use them, but he's actually burnt out his tyres more. And if he's put his car up into Rich, he's going to burn his tyres off. So, as it currently stands, Henry takes the win, and Goodades crosses the line, and he jumps over Henry on penalties. So Goodades finishes 2nd place. So, and then George Alice comes home in P4, John in P5, Ox comes home in 6th. Whisket has jumped Ox on penalties. That has really surprised me. Whisket, I mean, how many did Ox have then? There we go, Napola's jumped both of them. Napola's jumped both of them.
Great drive from Napola.
Yeah, so Napola's got up into P6, so he's actually had a good result there. Corey gutted for him in 9th, and Lennon's got a point. Yes, Lennon.
Wow. Lennon.
Oh no,
Woods.
Oh.
Woods has just taken him. Woods with a clean drive.
Oh, that was just an absolute tease. It reminds me of when Arsenal bid 40 million and £1 for Luis Suarez. The tease for then our dreams to be tarnished. Okay, so Corey's left the session immediately. I think he might have the ump. You know, we've had some good interaction in the chat tonight, so thank you very much, guys. 67 messages in there so far. I appreciate you all chatting and conversing with us. As we see Fuzzer in his all too familiar spot. Didn't lag out tonight, which was good to see. Lifting that trophy high with Goodades in 2nd and Henry in 3rd. And then Kim Jong-un, Fuzzer's team mechanic there.
Yep. Does that on a Thursday evenings, does Kim Jong-un? Little known fact.
There we go. So, interesting fact for you. Only Goodades and Woods didn't get penalties in that race. That's very, very impressive. We'll go through the classifications in a second. But yeah, Ox got 21 seconds of penalties. Whisket got 15 seconds. And I think they were the highest people, as well as Shone got 15 seconds. Anyway, we've got Fuzzer with the win, Goodades in P2, and in the last podium spot we've got Henry. I'll give you this chance to have a think about driver of the day whilst I finish through the rest of the classifications. We've got George Alice, who stays in P4 after a good battle with John in P5. Napola comes home in P6, with Whisket down in P7, with Ox in P8, and I believe that's Corey finished up in P9. Woodsy in P10, so a good drive from him there, up from 19th place, albeit with retirements and issues and stuff. But Lennon in 11th, NR in 12th, Shone comes home in 13th, with Sever in 14th. Then we've got Pubs to Randy in 15th. I think Dobby had the lag issues, so he's finished down in P16. And then we have Funky, one of the Ferraris, Beast Move that is, and the other Renault of Pagani all DNF'd. So yeah, who would you like to give driver of the day to today, Michael?
Well, with it being so many penalties, I think we've got to go with someone who doesn't have any penalties, and that's between Goodades and Woods.
I think we're going to have to go with Goodades.
I was going to say Woods, but never mind. Okay.
The only reason I say that is, don't be wrong, Woods has had a cracking race there, but a few of the guys and whatnot either DNF'd or had incidents and stuff like that as well. So I'll give it to Goodades to start 5th and then come home 2nd without any penalties is a very impressive feat. That's why I would give it to him. But if you want to give it to Woodsy, then that's absolutely fine. We'll just share the spoils.
Share the spoils, yeah.
Certainly. Right, anyway, well, thank you very much for that, Michael. I thoroughly appreciate your co-commentary this evening. Hopefully we'll do it again very soon.
I hope so, yeah. Brilliant race.
Yeah.
Well played, guys.
Thoroughly enjoyed. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you for tuning in and for all of the comments in the chat. Some great interaction. We'll try and do that more often. And although it wasn't a planned return for me to be coming back and doing commentary, I'm sure you'll probably end up seeing me at the next race, even though I don't intend to do it probably. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Tune in on Monday where we hit round 18, I believe, the championship in Mexico. I think, I could be wrong, for Division 2. and we shall see you soon. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff, and goodbye.